Hello and welcome to the Profit Partner, where we help to grow six-figure businesses in 12 months or less. My name is Cherie and I am the Profit Partner. Now we have a very interesting show today, so please don't turn the dial. Our guest is going to show us how to use our intuition to grow big profits in our businesses. She's Laura Kowalski of laughingdivas.com, and she's an intuitive artist. Again, before you change the dial, listen to what she has to say. She can help you make major money. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, Cherie. It's great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an intuitive artist. I do have a background in fine art, but I'm an intuitive consultant, and I work with individuals and with businesses. I work consulting on an individual basis. Perhaps there's a situation that's come up that people need help making decisions about something. But I also work as a teacher to help people learn how to strengthen their own intuition so that they can use it more readily and more easily in their life and in their business.
Great. Now, this is not like being a realtor or something like that.
Yeah, it is.
I went to get a license. How in the world did you get into this line of work?
Well, I've actually always been in it. It wasn't much of a choice. I've just always been intuitive. When I was younger, I didn't really understand what to do with it or how I could use this, I guess you could say, ability to help people. As I went through life and I studied it and tried to hone it, it got stronger, it got clearer, and my understanding of how I could use it to help others got stronger as well. And for the past 4 years, I've been working with a wonderful mentor who's really been able to help me see the best ways to help people, and largely that is learning to use intuition for themselves.
Great, great.
Yeah.
So you work with businesses, and since this is a business show, we kind of want to focus on that. It sounds a little airy-fairy. Tell us a practical way that business owners can use their intuition.
Well, the reality of the universe that we live in, and science and theology are on the same page with this these days, is that everything is energy. Everything comes from the same source, and we're all energy. Everything is just vibrating on different levels. And the one thing that's true about energy is that it's constantly changing, constantly transmutating. And if it isn't growing, it's dying.
Yeah, it's kind of like Einstein and the whole theory of, energy. It's never created or destroyed, it's just changed.
It's never created or destroyed, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And what that means for business is that you don't have to create anything, you can just attract it to you.
Oh,
but
great.
Yes. It is great. It's a lot less work
to me.
It's a lot less work to attract things than it is to create them. And like does attract like. But in business, those are helpful laws to remember, but also you want to be going into your business, you have your vision and you have your mission, and as you're walking towards that with your business, you also want to be very clear that as things come up, since things are always changing, that you're handling those moments in ways of decision making that's about choice and about clarity, and not about reacting. And intuition is a wonderful, wonderful way to help you get clarity, remain grounded, and get information from sources maybe you wouldn't otherwise think of. So I look at it as another way to get information that can help you make a clear, grounded decision.
Okay. Now I'm going to drill down a little bit farther, because what you said was very theoretical. But,
Right.
We want the practical.
Right.
So how does a business owner actually use this? Maybe giving us an example would be a great way to go of a business owner that actually used this.
Okay, well, there's a lot of different ways. Let me take it from a little more general into a specific, whether it's hiring someone. They may look really good on paper, but you just have a bad feeling. Trusting your intuition with that. And we've all had experiences with a gut feeling or I just knew. And those are aspects of intuition that are really important. Another thing would be if you're moving into a merger with another corporation, or you're trying to decide if a building is the right place for you to move your business into. Just checking in with yourself. You're still doing all the work. When you're intuitive and you're using your intuition in business, It's not being bewitched. You don't get to like wiggle your nose.
Oh, I can't be Tabitha?
You can't be Tabitha. You can't be Samantha.
Or was Samantha? Yes, it was Samantha.
You can't do that. You know, you're still checking with your realtor. You're still checking with your banker, but you are definitely using your own intuition to make the final decisions. So maybe everything looks good and you just feel fantastic about this building. Or, you know, I've worked with a woman who's just starting a business, and she was really struggling with a lot of information that other people were giving her about what she should do and how things should go. And she looked to make a decision about what products to be bringing out to the world. And in a consultation, we were able to sit down and figure out what was going to best serve her, trusting her intuition, listening to her about that, and working towards the vision that she had for her business.
And that's very interesting, because usually what I teach people as business development is to ask the marketplace. Like, if there's a certain question that people are constantly asking you, that should be the product that you're bringing to the marketplace. For example, my mom has a QuickBooks business where she does bookkeeping.
Right.
And the question we keep getting asked is, do you train?
Right.
So I said, you know, Mom, we need to have a training division for this company because everyone is asking for this. But it sounds like what you're saying is a little different as far as the entrepreneur going within and looking at the vision of what they want and bringing that out to the world. Are those in contrast?
Well, they're not really in contrast, because it's great to take the information. Say you have this information that many people are asking for training. So that's wonderful. That's one piece of information. So then the place the intuition can come in is to say, how am I going to do this? And you don't necessarily always get the step-by-step answer, but you might sit down and say, wow, you know, all of a sudden I have this great idea on how I can do a training. That's not just a normal, boring kind of thing like everybody else is doing.
I don't do normal, boring at all.
A way to set it apart. And this is how it happens. So it's really not in contrast. And that's the wonderful thing about intuition, is that it is an enhancement, always an enhancement. And a lot of that is being able to hear the information, whether it comes from an 8-year-old boy walking up to you and say, you know, why don't you try it this way, or reading a business journal that has nothing to do with your business and saying, wow, I could really apply that to what I'm doing. Sometimes it's just a matter of being open, and there's a lot of aha that happens that really is about intuition. Yeah, it really is.
And what you're saying is very important, because, you know, practically we do tell people to look at other industries and what people are doing in other industries, and seeing if you can bring that back into your industry, whatever that is. If you're a realtor, maybe looking at how the airlines do something, or some other industry, or maybe Mary Kay or something like that, and bringing that back in.
Exactly.
So what you're saying does make sense, and it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, people should be looking at different things and different signs that are coming to you and processing that and saying, is this something that I can use to make more profits?
Well, it definitely is part of that. I mean, being intuitive, a lot of it is being present and being grounded, and that means being open to what's happening. And if you're walking around being present, you know, you might suddenly see how the design of a cathedral could really improve the way that, you know, things are flowing in your manufacturing plant, you know, and that might seem totally out there, but I have yet to read a business book, and I'm an avid reader, and I have yet to hear of any situation where a successful business person has not used intuition. In fact, the more that I study about the universe and the laws of the universe, intuition is always listed as a crucial aspect of success, specifically business success.
Now, you opened up a can of worms, because I happen to be a very avid business book reader too, and success biography reader. Tell us a successful person, if you can think of one, that used intuition in a certain decision, someone that we'd recognize.
Well, you know, off the top of my head, the first one that pops into my head is Einstein. And for him, an aspect of intuition definitely is the time to listen. And for different people, it comes in different ways. For me, it's meditation. For a lot of people, it is. Sometimes meditation can be a moving meditation where you take a walk every day. It can be listening to music, and that's one thing that Einstein used to love to do. And that is how he came up with his theory of relativity, was when he was listening to music. He just had this amazing experience. And he was a great believer in intuition and touted it all the time. But this man was, just so amazing with his thought processes. But he always put it down to really not thinking. It was intuition. It was being open and letting it come in when you quiet the mind chatter.
Right, right. That's really funny you mentioned the theory of relativity. It reminds me of another story I heard, a guy named Robert Ringer, who wrote several books. He oh goodness, they're escaping me right now. One is Winning Through Intimidation, but he wrote some other books as well. And he said, he sits down to his computer every morning and he writes for 2 hours. And it could be something like Mary Had a Little Lamb, just, writing. And then pretty soon, all of this creativity starts to flow out of him, and he's writing beautiful things.
Yes.
And I put that in quotes because I don't know if a business book can be beautiful.
Yes,
but
it can.
but he's writing beautiful things that he didn't know was even in there, but it's from starting off small.
Yes.
And moving.
Giving it the space, giving it the allowed time. And that is a crucial thing about the business aspect, is that you allow it time. A lot of times, especially in business, we can say, I don't have time to do that today. I don't have time to sit still. I don't have time to just be quiet. I have a million phone calls to return. I've got things that we're supposed to be doing Monday, that's Friday, and I didn't get it done. But making the regular time in your life, in your business life, scheduling it into your day, whether it's shortening lunch slightly and taking 15 or 20 minutes to allow that to happen is crucial. And that's what he found, is that if you know that you're going to have the time to have the intuition, it will come through, and it will come through regularly. That's the exciting part, regularly. It's not just a once in a blue moon type of a thing.
Right, right. Now, it's really funny as we're talking, it reminds me, I'm part of a mastermind group, and for the public who doesn't know what a mastermind group is, it's a group of people that have a common goal, and they get together and they discuss that goal, whatever it might be. Well, for all of us, we have our separate businesses, and we want to grow those businesses. And when you're talking, sometimes people need a little help to work through their intuition. And maybe a great way for them to do it is to have someone like you as a resource to call on a weekly basis and say, this is my time to set aside to work on this and to strengthen this muscle. Or to put together a mastermind group or an accountability partnership where that's what you do, on a weekly basis or whatever.
Definitely. I enjoy working with, whether it's in groups or whether it's individuals, and because it's such a personal thing, it can be a personalized situation, but there are definitely some basic things that you can do, because as with anything else, it's just the practice, bringing it into your life.
Right.
And that's something that I can help with. And there's also some basic things that you can do. One of them is keeping an intuitive journal. Now, this is assuming that you're taking some time every day, like I said, 15 or 20 minutes, or maybe it's 2 hours, but taking some time to listen, to let the feedback come in. But keeping an intuitive journal, just noticing the little things that are happening, and they may seem insignificant. Like I got this great parking spot in front of the post office today when I had 3 minutes to run in and take care of this. Or, wow, wasn't it amazing how I took a wrong turn down that street and I just happened to go by this building that was for sale that wasn't listed, and I had just talked to my broker the other week, but the sign had fallen down, and I realized that this actually was for sale. And things like that, little synchronicities. So just noticing that. Again, like energy attracts like energy. So noticing these things, writing them down, and acknowledging them as important will bring more of it into your life, as well as being grateful for the things that are happening.
Right.
You may not feel like your business is exactly where it needs to be right now, but taking time to be grateful for the business partner that you do have, or the fantastic person that's working the phones for you, or the way that that last business plan just came together, or the new product really, is going to be a great hit, and you just got a fantastic contract on it. Yeah. So things like that are basic things.
Let's talk a little negativity for a second, because you said like attracts like, and you ever have, and all of us do, one of those days where everything just seems to be going wrong.
Right.
Yeah, like is attracting like on those days too.
Yeah.
How do you turn that around?
Well, I do it by laughing.
Okay, thus laughing divas.
Thus laughing divas, which is actually a really great thing to remember, that life is often critical, but rarely serious. So honestly, that is how I do it. Things can get really intense sometimes, but you are creating everything around you, and sometimes that responsibility can seem a little daunting. Really, thoughts are the most powerful things in existence. It's the most powerful form of energy. Every single thing around us was a thought before it came into being, and that's really amazing. So if we sit there and say, okay, things are really tough right now, how can I take responsibility for this? I don't want to take responsibility for it, but how can I? And sometimes just shifting it by laughter and just saying, you know what, obviously, whatever I'm doing isn't working. Okay, so let me take maybe a lighter approach. That's what I generally do, is just go to a lighter approach. Obviously, the heavy stuff usually is the problem. So, so just shifting it that way. Or sometimes just stepping outside. You know, again, opening up to where is the answer. I know that it's out there if I give it time to come in, if I give it the space. Just dropping what you're doing. Obviously, it's not working. Shift it. Just shift it.
Or just go to the bathroom and close the stall and right.
That's shifting it too. And it really is all the same energy, but I think laughing's more fun, so that's what I choose.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I think it's a matter of finding something that helps you move past that.
Right.
And once you find it, just doing it over and over again. It's kind of like a repetitive thing.
Exactly. And making it part of your life and having people who support you in that and understand it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I want a show with like millions of people watching.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, so what advice do you have for me to attract that?
For attracting that into your life, I would say the first thing that you need to do is write down a fantastic vision statement about that and make sure that it's really, really passionate for you and not just something that you think you can achieve, not something that you know how you're going to achieve, but something that you really, really feel passionate about, even if it sounds crazy and isn't the way that people normally do it. The next thing to do would be to create the vision statement of it, and that's you actually imagining with as much motion and emotion as possible, because that's the only way it's going to come to you, as actually hear your feet walking across the sound of the stage for you to go sit on that couch. How does that couch feel when you sit down on it?
Can I be like Oprah saying, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car?
Yes, you can. Or what if you go beyond Oprah? How about that? I mean, go really, really big. Why not is exactly right. It's exactly right. And understanding that as you grow into this vision, you're going to have to become a bigger person, not a better person, but a bigger person. And so beginning to attract that, again, with gratitude and just noticing what already is in your life that reminds you of those little things, and you will see that things begin expanding faster and faster, accelerating towards that. And you definitely can do it.
Great. Now, we talked about one of my goals. Let's talk about your goals for Laughing Diva. What is it that your brand, Laughing Diva, is going to be known for?
Taking over the world.
With gratitude,
right? Yes,
right?
absolutely, with gratitude. Our mission is to create love and peace and beauty in this world, and our plan for that is to do that through helping businesses achieve their goals. I see so many fantastic things happening with people's businesses, and really how everybody being successful is how this world is going to become a better place, is going to be the place, well, is the way that we're going to survive, really, basically. Not only survive, but thrive. So I want people to become as successful, but as grounded and as clear as they possibly can be. And that means that they're living their passion and that they're really walking towards their vision. They're running towards their vision. And so my vision for Laughing Divas is that we're helping people do that, bringing them closer to their goals and to their dreams, creating love and peace and beauty with intuition.
Great. Any final words for the public?
Just remember to laugh every day. That's truly the most important thing. And gratitude will take you so far. It will take you so far.
Great. Tell us how people can get in touch with you if they want to learn more.
The best way is really through the website, laughingdivas.com. and we'll contact you from there. And we are doing public speaking engagements as well as working with people in businesses. So really going through the website is the best thing to do.
Great. Thank you so much for being our guest today, Laura.
Thank you. I have much gratitude towards that.
With gratitude, we definitely learned a lot. I have to say that I learned a lot because you definitely gave me a mental shift to think about. And I'm going to pick up my intuitive journal this weekend.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, everyone, again, this is Cherie from The Profit Partner, where we help to grow six-figure businesses in 12 months or less. We're asking you to use your intuition in order to grow. Thank you very much and have a prosperous day.